And we've been working on this poll since February for calling attention to the need to protect sacred sites throughout the United States. You know, a lot of indigenous peoples are really worried because so many corporations have intentions of developing various natural resources that would be highly destructive to their sacred sites. And so we're hoping that we can bring this attention to the administration and Congress and, you know, continue the journey to try to get religious protection for Native Americans.
What would be helpful for Lutheran pastors to know?
Well, we approach it with the idea that according to our traditional knowledge and what has been passed down by the elders, all things have power. And that power originated at the time of creation. That you would say God, we would say Great Spirit, you know, and it's beyond us. We're basically yes, and we have a duty to respect life around us and all of creation.
Creator of the cosmos, of eternity and time. Breath of all that lives, who loves all life. Maker, Spirit, Son of here and now.
And so when we're carving totem poles, we know that every figure has a legend or a myth that ties back to various tribal peoples. You know, and we're not trying to carve all of their stories, but we're trying to at least use some of the symbols to tell a message, get a message across to the viewer. You know, they're symbols. You know, and one thing about symbols is that it's not only what you know yourself and what you're observing, but it's the collective awareness as to what something means. And so individually, collectively, we interpret a symbol and give it meaning to ourselves in our mind, in our heart, or spiritually, if you may. And it helps reinforce our basic concept of the world around us and what our relationship is to the world. And so we hope that by using the symbols, we awaken something within the observer. And we hope that it stimulates them to take action.
We pray that our rituals, our symbols, as we take in Jesus through wine and bread. As we recall our baptism.
You know, because the world is worth saving. You know, and I just wish that every Christian church started every sermon with a simple message. God created everything. Keep it sacred.
God created everything. Keep it sacred. God created everything. Keep it sacred. God created everything. Keep it sacred. God created everything. Keep it sacred.
That's all they have to do, and in a couple generations, the congregations, the children that grew up with that message, would have a different outlook on the world around them. You know, and but presently, corporate development and exploitation of the world around us is pretty much the power that guides everybody. You know, everybody has a belief that they can just take at will. You know, why buy it? You know, I can do what I want with my property. You know, and these children, they're left out. You know, the next generations are left out. We hope that we'll go on this journey, and we'll create a unification of voices, and that will follow the same idea that we started with, that the world is sacred and it's worth protecting. You know, we know the Vatican came out in 2015 with a statement of support, and various national church associations have become more aware of their obligation to their congregations to create a message that's permanent and that they can absorb and live with. You know, the question is how do we implement it? Words are cheap. They sound beautiful, but they're cheap if you don't have action behind them. You know, and so I know people say, well, wow, you're going on another journey, don't you get tired? Well, of course everybody gets tired, you know, but we have a duty, we have an obligation.
In order to get the world attention now, we used the healing pole journey back in 9/11 to draw attention to the plight of the people that died in the Twin Towers and those that were left behind. And so as a Lummi Nation, you know, we're small, just a little northwest nation on the northwest coast here, you know, and how could we reach a nation out there that's in total despair? And so that's when we carved the eagle and the bear pole. And so that journey was called the healing pole journey. And so that was the beginning of the pole journeys. So what we did is used the public news media to put the word out about the journey. And what it did was to draw people to come together and pray together for those that perished and those that are left behind. And it said, all we're asking you to do is come and put your hand on the pole and send your prayer across country with us. And when we got halfway across the United States, they were coming from 2 states below us and 2 states above us just to come and put their hand on this pole. And we told them, this is not sacred. This is just a piece of wood that we carved. What is sacred is all of you coming together with that prayer and that cry in your heart, reaching out and sending your prayer across country. I said, that's what's sacred. That was the beginning of it.
Sacredness is all around us. Our buildings, our artifacts, our altars are not sacred. May we come to know the difference between
we used a song that we received in the late 90s from a whale, a minke whale that came and beached herself upon our beaches over here, sacrificed her life to bring a boy's spirit back home. And this boy was killed down in Nia Bay. Somebody hit him over the head with a baseball bat and killed him, about 18 years old. Now, I had an elder that was standing there on the beach watching what was happening here as we were trying to get that whale back out into the water. Moved it probably 15, 20 feet before the tide went out. We couldn't do it anymore. So the elder that was standing there watching received from the whale. She had the eyes and ears to hear. And what the whale told her is that I'm an ancient ancestor of this boy's family. His mother was from Lummi and his father was from Nia Bay. And he says that she took pity upon this boy, Salih, his spirit, and because he was wandering down there in Nia Bay, and brought him back home to his mother's land. There was 2 whales that came into Bellingham Bay that swam around in front of where his mother's home, parents' home was. They were swimming around and around. One whale swam back on out, and the other one came into the shallows and beached herself. And the elder said, when that whale beached herself, she released the boy's spirit here at home, brought it home here. And as she took her last few heartbeats, her heart started getting slower and slower and slower. And at that very moment, she was just about ready to let go. We heard the song. And I says, we all looked at each other. Are you hearing what I'm hearing? He says, yeah. Says I could hear the song. And so we went, when the whale died, we went right back to Charis Kadem's house. And we all sat there in his sitting room. And we're all talking about the song that we heard. He says, we have to capture this song. And so Jewell says, yeah, we need a drum. There was a drum hanging on the wall. That drum started vibrating and bounced off the wall, came, hit the floor, and rolled right to Jewell. He grabbed it and started drumming what he was hearing. And we all heard it, And so what we captured was that song, and it's called the Eitschwallowin. The Eitschwallowin. What if she was saying is to be of one heart and one mind. So all across the country on the healing pole journey, we sang that song, to be of one heart and one mind. Eitschwallowin. So that was the beginning of the spiritual part of this, And so therefore, we paid close attention to how things moved, And there's always a spiritual part of these journeys, And so it proved to us, that what we were witnessing and living through was absolutely real, because the old people talked about always listen and pay attention, because you never know what the Spirit is trying to share with you. If you get too busy in the world, then you're going to miss it. You don't have the time to slow down and to hear what's happening around you. So slow down, walk softly upon the earth, and enjoy what the Creator gave to us. It's not going to be here forever. And this is bigger than all of us. It's God that's in control. It's not us. All we are the ones doing the brush.
You're doing your part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suit up and show up.
Yeah.
For it's all Him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all really any of us can do, is doing our part. And
Yep.
this is
Yep.
this is a part that can mobilize a lot of people. Your part mobilizes all the prayers that get put into this that end up in DC, or this one's going to DC, and all the other ones have gone other places. And
Yep. This guy knows it too.
yeah,
Yeah. He loves me. You love me? Yeah, he loves me. Yeah, he's a love puppy.
he is.
Yeah. He's the one that picked me. I didn't pick him. Yeah, he's just a itty bitty guy, when I first seen him, there were 6 of them running around in a pen. And I was watching them all run around. He's the only one that was born with a tail like that. And he come running by like that, and I said one word, and he stopped and looked at me and sat down and stayed there all the time I talked to him and didn't move. I said, well, you're the one. Yeah. Yeah, so he's been traveling with us. He went all the way to Winnipeg with us that one year.
May Creator provide us with songs and companions along the way. While we are guests in this world that is worth saving,